get open players and just a little hesitant to pull the trigger.
Eastern Michigan coming in with the 10th best offense in the MAC. You can see right here as Sonic tries to drive in, just stepped out with his left foot. Huskies coming in after a loss to East-West University. They put up 117 points in that game, Coach. They won 117-50. Something you don't see a lot of times in college basketball anymore.
I'm not sure you get a lot out of the game other than you get some guys some shooting practice, because those guys scored a ton of points. But now you got to go up against Eastern Michigan, much more competitive foe. But I think teams do that in general. Non-conference, you just try to get some confidence going, and then you come back, you know you're going to have some tough games.
Most points they put up since 1994. They actually had two players for 25 each in the game. Eastern shot, that one no good. Jalen Billingsley gets the top right side of the backboard. So both teams struggling from the field. Eastern 0 for 3 to start, as are the Huskies.
I think both teams are a little tight. That happens sometimes in your conference openers.
There's Jones trying to find his way in. Good defense here by the Eagles, and he drops it off baseline, trying to fight his way down is Butler. That one rattles off the rim, and again, shot no good, and right there's Deshaun Nelson with the rebound. Now Terry launching a three. That one hits the backside of the iron. Osoniak goes over top for the rebound over Nichols, sets up another opportunity with the three offline, so Eastern cannot buy a bucket on back-to-back possessions.
Oh, has some good looks. Again, just both teams a little tight, Ryan. That happens. I think you can see they'll loosen up as the game goes on.
Once that first one goes in, you'll start to see it maybe open up a little bit more. That time it's Ethan Butler. He weaves his way in, and he'll get the first field goal of the game nearly 3 minutes into the contest.
NIU with the full court pressure back to the zone.
There's Nelson. That one knocked out of his hands, goes out of bounds, last touch by NIU. So we'll stay with the Eagles. 17 seconds on the shot clock.
Eastern's going to continue to attack the basket, Ryan. They've got some advantages down low and have some very aggressive players, so continue to watch EMU attack and get 2 feet in the paint, try to get even to the foul line.
Pretty good non-conference slate for Eastern Michigan. They went 6-6. They are coming off a loss, though, to Davidson. That was their last game. They fell 86-64. Here's Henry. He gets some contact as he tries to go up. So our first foul on the NIU side.
Well, I like the aggressiveness of Christian Henry. He really is good going to the rim. He's a guy that's not afraid to attack, and I think Eastern, to be successful today, has to continue to really be aggressive to the basket.
Butler picked up the foul. Eastern Michigan already has a foul from Billingsley themselves. So you see Stan Heath looking on for Eastern Michigan. Now in his 4th year on the sidelines here in Ypsilanti. Got to be pretty excited. I mentioned 6-6. And Coach, what do you see being the keys to victory in this one?
Well, I like Eastern's chances if they can just do the couple things that Coach Heath talked about. They're going to have to handle the pressure of NIU. And NIU is really, as you see, they are really good at getting their hands on the ball. I think that Northern gets their hands on almost every possession of the ball. They're really quick. So they have to handle the pressure, try to wear down. If they can handle pressure, that's going to be good ball security. And then establish their presence in the paint. If they can do what they're doing now, get to the foul line, don't come away empty-handed, they're going to give NIU some fits.
Eastern struggled at the line so far this season. They're shooting 68%. That's 11th in the conference. But Billingsley, hitting at that same mark, will make his first. We'll make it 2-1 early on, NIU. 16:45 to play here first half. And what an exciting day. Not only are you here, Coach, we got an exciting special guest that's going to be joining us around the 12-minute mark. Don't want to spoil it just yet.
I won't mention either, but I'm excited about that. Obviously spent some time for the game, but it's just great to be back here. I'm going to leave it alone, let the game dictate itself, but I'm just excited to be back here. It means a lot to me and fans, and to see old people, friends I haven't seen in a while.
Nichols drives in, kicks it back out. Now trying to find his way back in is Butler. It's the same way he scored the first bucket of the game. Back-to-back for him, and doubles the lead now 4-2.
Well, Ethan Butler can drive. I mean, you got to know that coming in. Not a great free throw shooter. Might want to foul him, but keep him off the backboard. Don't let him get in the paint. Eastern now trying to attack the zone. They've got some high post threats inside, but they've got some guys that can penetrate the zone. I like that look. That's a great look, high-low. Referee called a foul, kind of took away a basket there. But I like the ability for Eastern to attack at the high post. Stan Heath's team doing a good job so far of attacking the zone.
Looked like Terry may have shot from the right wing. Instead, they go down low. Billingsley feeds it down to Deshaun Nelson. You mentioned kind of stopping the play before the bucket went in.
Yeah, I thought that they kind of took away a basket, but, you know, maybe I'm still a little bit pulling for Eastern. I got to stop that.
Well, you got the coach brain on you.
Yeah.
That's what you'd be arguing on the sideline. Here's Terry falling away. Good contact. Billingsley had it in and out of his hands. Now trying to push with numbers is NIU. Nichols drives in, picks up his dribble. Now feeds it left side, and Jalen Terry intercepts it. Eastern now trying to go. Deshaun Nelson was going right at Butler. Couldn't get the dunk, but that will take us to a timeout. It's 4-2 NIU here in Ipswich. For Michigan and NIU, Coach Ben Braun joining me here in the broadcast booth. And Coach, you just kind of look at your accolades right here. Winningest coach in Eastern history, 185 wins from 86 to 96. You're a 3-time MAC Coach of the Year, earned 3 MAC tournament titles, finished with over 600 career victories, and also a 1997 Pac-10 Coach of the Year honor. And on top of that, you're just a year removed now from having your name put on the court. I mean, what does it mean to you to be back here?
It's huge. I can't tell you, Ryan, it meant so much to my family and me to be back here, but just for me to stay in touch with the program, a program in a school I coached at, to be with Stan and the guys yesterday at practice, felt like being back home again.
I'll tell you what, we love having you, and it's fun for me to not only call games with you, I mean, you're a blast to work with, but seeing all the fans come up, take pictures with you. I saw you signing some basketballs earlier today, so they'll be, giving those away later on?
Yeah, I think so. It's still a little surreal, I got to be honest with you. I never coached for awards or for anything, but to be recognized for a school I spent so many years at means so much to me. You know, the people who were involved, Scott Weatherby, Roy Wilbanks, who was instrumental in this, somebody I had the pleasure of working with and overseeing all of our programs, Gene Smith, who was here, and all the great coaches and players, and we can get into that later. But something I won't forget, and it's etched in stone now, or in wood anyway.
That's right. No, it looks great. Of course, it was dedicated to you last year, Ben Braun Court, right here in Ypsilanti. And Coach, again, I love having you. It's been a pleasure to work the games over the last couple of years. We were talking actually about John Fountain, the longtime radio broadcaster who just recently passed away. And It's one of my most cherished pictures of you, me, Tom Helmer, and John up in the suite.
Yeah, there's nobody better in WMU. I mean, the great longtime station, which I was glued to for jazz, for sports, for John Fountain, for his calls of his games. And I still watch your broadcast. And it was great to see Grant Long back here.
Yes.
Who did an awfully good job and willed his team to victory, I might add. I have pressure on me now, Ryan.
You do it.
I got it produced today, or I may not get invited back.
You'll always be invited back. But right now, what is a tie game? 4-4, very low scoring. Eastern still looking for their first field goal. They're 0 for 5 from the floor, all their points coming from the free throw line.
Well, if you're Eastern, you feel good, actually. Not about being 0 for 5, but you feel good that you are 0 for 5, and yet you're in a tie game. Yep. So I think if the Eagles can hit some shots, which they will, they'll be back into this game. But, NIU's pesky, too. They want to get going. They want to get back on the winning column. So this is going to be a good basketball game. It's shaping up kind of to be a defensive battle so far, but I think both teams will open up as time goes on.
Well, Christian Henry picked up that last foul for Eastern Michigan, and that is now going to put James Dent Jr. at the free throw line. First time NIU has been at the charity stripe in this game, and he'll hit his first.
Well, he's a good free throw shooter, the senior from Springfield. He can knock down shots there, and I think if you're Eastern, you want to try to keep Northern Illinois Huskies, going to keep them on the perimeter, make them shoot some shots. They've struggled a little bit from 3, but you don't want them to get to the foul line. They shoot free throws pretty well, but they've got some good scorers. It's easier said than done. If you're Eastern now, you've got to continue to attack this zone. Hopefully, get some clean rebounds, score in transition, but just get some opportunities, some good looks.
And then reaching in at the last second was Jones. They were giving a little press here on Eastern as they tried to inbound it.
Well, that's what Stan talked about. Coach Heath said, look, we got to handle their pressure. They're going to come after us. And this is 94 feet, Ryan. They're pressuring all the way, making it hard just to get the ball in. That's pressure.
Here's Terry, drops it off to Nelson. He's met there at midcourt, back to Terry. So Eastern still looking for that first field goal. I mentioned 0 for 5, 2 shots coming from Terry. Billingsley, Nelson, and Osoniak the other 3. Now they're going to lob one up. Just out of the reach of Deshaun Nelson, but able to corral it and put it up and in to tie the game.
Well, I love that look because the lob wasn't there for the dunk, but you catch, you misdirect, and you score on the backside. That's just a great individual play.
Nelson, second on the team in scoring at 13 a game. He had 16 and 4 in the setback to Davidson. There's the 3 from the left corner from Jones. That one offline. Eastern Michigan now going to bring it back down the floor with Terry. Terry then throws it to the, well, I think he was actually trying to go to the top of the key, a little miscommunication, and then ended up in the hands of Tingler, so we'll stay with Eastern. Here's Henry, little fadeaway shot doesn't go, and the rebound into the hands of Dent Jr. Dent trying to drive in. Terry nearly knocked it away, now open to the corner is Jones. Watch out for him, picks up his dribble, now throws it out to the left side, and they'll hit. That was Joe Munden Jr. who'll pop the three. First three of the game for NIU.
Got 2-2-1 press after a score, back to the 2-3, and they'll match up out of this, Ryan, which means they'll close this guy in the ball, they'll call ball, he'll guard it man-to-man.
Now Eastern trying to answer right in front of the NIU bench, doesn't go. That was Tingler who rose up. That one offline, still a three-point advantage for NIU. You look at the series history coming into this game, Coach. It's the 105th all-time meeting between Eastern Michigan and NIU. With the Huskies, they hold the 59-46 advantage. We talked about it in the open. NIU has gotten the better of Eastern recently. They've won the last 3 games. It's actually one shy of the longest streak between both teams.
Well, then Eastern's got to get back on the winning side. But, you know, they've got to come out here and play against a pesky team. This is a hungry team in NIU. They'd like nothing better to come up here and get their first win in the opener.
How about Nelson? Drives around his man, pulls up. Now we got Munden, who's slow to get up.
Well, Deshaun, you know, he's just showing his ability to score from a myriad of places. He scores in the high post, at the rim, can knock down threes if you give him some opportunities. Easterns does well to get the ball in his hands.
Yeah, 6 straight points right now for Nelson in this game, and it's a 1-point advantage for the Huskies. Godslove nearly knocked that one out of NIU's hands. Now they'll whistle it down. They were able to get to the rim was McPherson, but the ball's going to go Eastern Michigan's way. They're going to say it was a turnover by McPherson. That's his first turnover of the game, 3rd of the contest here for the Huskies. McPherson had a pretty good game against East West University. I mentioned a couple of players scoring at least 25 in the win. Well, it was McPherson had a double-double, 25 and 11. That matched Quentin Jones' 25. There's Nelson, he's body bumped over to Henry. He's wide open from the left side, and he hits it. Christian Henry fills it up, and Eastern with their first lead.
Yeah, great look, just cross-court pass to the open man in the corner.
Now coming the other side, putting it up off the rim and in. 626 straight games now for Eastern Michigan that they have made at least a 3 in a game. Tied at 11. Eastern shot offline. Godslove kicks it out. Here's Jalen Terry looking for another 3. Top of the key, back-to-back threes for the Eagles. They now lead at 14-11.
Now Jalen Terry stayed with it. You know, you miss a shot, don't hang your head. Come back and knock it down. He did that. A lot of confidence.
You know, Terry only had 6 points in the team set back to Davidson. I mentioned he's only had 4 non-double-digit games so far this season, but he's had 4 20-plus games. Kind of an off night for him, but that's when you start to build upon the next game.
No, and you know, you can have an off night when you're a good player, and we have a guest who's sitting next to me right now. We'll talk about this. You don't hang your head when you have a rough game. You come back and you show you're a competitor, and you have a great game the next game. And same thing even in the game, Ryan. You're struggling in a game. You next TV timeout, you get it together. And so basketball is a game of peaks and valleys. Yep. If you allow yourself to get in the valley, you're going to be in trouble.
The Eagles with the 3-point lead, 14-11, 12-16 to play here first half. When we come back from break, we will be joined by that special guest. You do not want to miss it if you're an Eastern Michigan Eagle fan. Ball moved around into the corner. That's Jones. He was looking for a foul, put his hands up, didn't get it. McPherson, though, with the rebound, goes right back at Jalen Billingsley. See if they get Billingsley for the foul, and they will. Well, they're going to give it to Tingler. Yeah, they're going to give the Tingler instead. So that will be his second.
Well, Eastern's got to do a good job of, no second chance points. This is an aggressive team in NIU. You got to get clean rebounds and hopefully get some fast break opportunities.
Well, McPherson will step to the line, Coach. Will make his first. He's 17th in the MAC in free throw percentage so far this season, hitting at 77%. But here's the foul. So the shot was no good.
Well, and there's on the defensive end, Ryan. You always used to say you can't tip the ball. You tip the ball offensively. Defensively, you got to put 2 hands on the ball and come away clean. So just a little point there. It'll stick now the next time down, I'm sure.
Both free throws are good, though. It's a 1-point lead, 14-13. Eagles on top of the Huskies. It is the MAC opener. Jihad into the game for the first time for the Eagles, as is Pettigrew. Here's Billingsley. 10 seconds to shoot, nowhere to go. Drops it off right side. Pettigrew over to Terry. Pump fake, got his man in the air, now drives in. Oh, he was stripped from behind, and then Butler's going to come away with it. NIU trying to push. Here's Jones, takes it right to the rack, doesn't go. Rebound by Pettigrew. Now they feed it over to Asoniak, left side. Oh, wide open is Jalen Billingsley, and he takes it home and slams it with a two-handed jam.
Yeah, it's great to see big guys rewarded. He runs the floor, Ryan, and gets rewarded with the big-time slam.
Now the Huskies trying to push it again. Here's Nichols. Asoniak all over him. They feed it now to the right wing. Back to Jones. 10 seconds to shoot for NIU. Picking up his dribbles, McPherson. Good defense by the Eagles. Goes out of bounds, and that will take us to a timeout. Eagles missed their first 5 shots, but back-to-back threes, and then Jalen Billingsley with the explanation point gives the Eagles a 3-point lead.
I got a family who Lorenzo knows. He's met my family, but all the years we spent a lot of time together for sure.
Oh no question.
Well, Lorenzo, it's great to have you back as well. We've been teasing you all game long. We didn't want to spoil it until we actually put you on camera. So what is it like to be back here in Ypsi? How many times have you been back since your playing days?
It's been a while, but I've been back a few times, but I haven't been back over the last several years. But I've certainly been keeping my eyes on the Eagles, and the program is in really good hands, and certainly enjoying the game today. I like to see them getting some transition a little bit more. It seems like when they are in transition, they seem to capitalize and doing a good job.
Well, you see Lorenzo still analyzing the game, but he coached after he was done playing. And coached with me at Cal. He coached at Wayne State, obviously. Coached at Michigan. So he's an experienced coach. And once a coach, always a coach. You don't stop. And but he was one of the best that ever played here, I can tell you that.
Certainly appreciate that, Coach. I'm still doing a little coaching with a few high schools. Currently, I'm over and give a shout out to Stevenson Middle School and Principal Andy Casper, where I'm the pretty much the dean of students and the athletic director, and helping out in the background with a few schools. And obviously, if the opportunity presents itself and I can get back into coaching at the collegiate level, I'm certainly open to listening.
Well, I will tell you, the one thing I was impressed with is we were about 2 minutes before the national anthem in today's game, and Stan Heath sprinted from the sideline over here, saw you coming down talking to Coach Braun and myself, and took the time to greet you. He's like, is that who I think it is? And that's how you know that you've made an impact, because obviously people know who you are, but to see Coach come over, he didn't stop coaching at that moment either.
No, I appreciate that. Stan is doing a wonderful job, and like I say, the opening day of MAC play, see them get off to a good start and start off the season in MAC on a good note.
Well, Stan was here too for our listeners, viewers, and he remembers Lorenzo well, because Lorenzo in his first year was when Stan was a senior, and I think from the time that Lorenzo Neely stepped foot at Eastern Michigan and wore an Eastern Michigan uniform, the program took off. I mean, we were in dead last place. I'm going to embarrass him a little bit here, but it's true. But dead last place, and you can see what was accomplished after Lorenzo stepped foot. And Stan Heath acknowledged it. He knows how important Lorenzo was as a player on the floor, but just as a recruit. He brought instant respectability playing from Detroit Northern to come here and brought his winning spirit to Eastern, and the rest is history.
Well, it's certainly a long story behind all that, but again, Coach, I appreciate it, and certainly appreciating the opportunity to share time and space with you all today. And when I come into the building, I just hopefully one day I get a chance to look up in the ceiling and see my name up there.
Well, it's coming. It's coming. There's so many players here, and Lorenzo had the chance to play on 2 championship teams. Not many guys can say they played on 2 championship teams and a Sweet 16 team. That's a big-time statement. But it's good to have you here with us for sure.
Well, and you mentioned you texted Earl Boykins before the game, Coach, and you said he's probably watching this before shoot-around. So you got anything you want to say to Earl?
Yeah, well, actually he texted me and told me, because when you told him that, he sent me a text, say, hey, have a good time today. and bring some, hopefully bring some good luck to the Eagles today.
Yeah, well, I believe in luck, but I also believe in talent. So you put Earl Boykins on my team or Lorenzo Neely, I think the luck has little to do with it. But you're talking about Earl and Lorenzo who again put their impact on this program. Grant Long obviously was on that team, and the Thomas twins, and so many Corey Hallis, so many great players. But it took a player to be the leader there.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is a 24-20 lead right now for NIU. Lorenzo, great to have you. Enjoy the game. And go Eagles, right?
Thank you. Appreciate it very much. Again, thank you for allowing me to share time and space with you. Coach, it's a pleasure to see you.
And now it's 24-20 as Stan Heath's got work to do.
Yeah, Stan Heath, obviously a veteran coach now. He's been in this situation. He's not going to panic. You got to just stay with your team. And you're the same team that got a run, that gave up a run. So you got to decide which team you want to be. But that's a good timeout. I mean, at the timeout, you talk to your players. And I know one of the topics of discussion is, hey, Northern Illinois doesn't normally hit a lot of their threes, but at the very least, they were challenging shots earlier. The shots that Northern hit were unchallenged shots, Ryan, and you don't want to give up unchallenged shots. And if they can get out and challenge NIU from the three-point line, they'll have better success.
Yeah, right now they're hitting at 32%, which is 9th best in the MAC coming into this game. But for the game, they're hitting at 57%. They made 4 of 7, including their last 3.
So you got to correct that, and your coaches during the timeouts will talk about that. And obviously, NIU hasn't gotten any offensive rebounds, maybe one. So that hasn't been the problem. But, Eastern's just missed some shots, and they've missed some easy ones inside, too. And you just got to convert. You get to the free throw line, convert your shots, and then come down, get a few stops. And as Lorenzo says, get out and transition a little more. That's where they're so dangerous. And if they can defend, they can get out and run.
Well, Eastern Michigan missed their free throws. Then on the rebound, another foul was called on Munden, which is putting Asoniak at the line. He will make his first, but it's so nice to see Lorenzo Neely come and stop and chat with us. E-Club Athletic Hall of Famer in 2014, started 4 straight years here at EMU. Team captain 3 of those years. We had the graphic great shot by our camera crew with the Sweet 16 banner. And
he was a big part of that. And, he was the first recruiting class that we had when I was here. And Keith Dambrot on that staff, Chris Malloy. We went out and we made Lorenzo Neely a priority. We said we've got to get a really tough-minded player that was playing in a state championship and bring his winning ways, and he did.
Surprised they let that one go through. He touched the net before it actually dropped. That was Butler again.
EMU's got to do a better job keeping them off the glass to the rim. They got to keep them on the perimeter with a challenge.
Well, here's Nelson, and he went right at Quentin Jones, challenging him himself, and that will keep it a 2-point game.
Now, that's the game plan if you're Eastern Michigan, and they executed that well. Now, interestingly, Eastern Michigan looking to the zone. They're saying, look, enough of this getting to the rim. We're going to challenge you from the perimeter, make you shoot some contested shots, and take our chances.
Well, they feed it right side. Here's Nichols, launches another 3. So, again, 4 straight 3-pointers by NIU.
Well, Nelson was a little late to challenge. I think he shook his head like, what am I supposed to do? But you got to challenge up, not out. Challenge shot means you get up, get your hands out, and make teams shoot over you.
Nichols with 2 of those during that run. Butler had the 2 field goals underneath. Eastern shot there is left short, and now the rebound into the hands of the Huskies. Butler looking at Munden, now feeds over to the corner. That's Nichols. Pulls up just over Christian Henry. There's nothing he could do on that one.
No, that's a good timeout by Stan Heath. He wants to stop the momentum, but it's Nichols who's really making some big shots. Kalen Nichols, back opener win for Cal. That's for the EMU Eagles. That was a while back now.
The Huskies, January 4th of 2020 at Buffalo was their last MAC opening win. But we also talked about, too, in the open coach, they're 0-7 on the road coming into this game, are the Huskies.
Well, you got to make them feel your home court, but you got to play the way you want to play. And they've got the ability now to get the ball to the rim, and that's what they're trying to do.
There's Nelson trying to weave his way in, couldn't go. Billingsley nearly had the rebound, then it pops out to Henry, and then Henry drops it off to Billingsley, who slams it home again. But they'll whistle it down before the bucket went through.
Well, I like the interior passing, Ryan. They're doing a good job, again, of attacking the rim. They're very unselfish. Here you see the drop off, a little bit of a delay getting it up. You got to get that ball up a little sooner. Maybe you don't crank it for the dunk. Maybe you just get it off the rim. But, you got to stay fundamental. But I like Eastern's ability to get to the rim. They continue to do this and put pressure on NIU. They'll climb back into this game.
So Billingsley back at the line. He missed his last 2. He's 2 for 4 in the game, and he'll hit his first there.
Well, that's been a real positive. If you're, if you're Eastern Michigan, you've been able to get to the free throw line and score, and keep going there until NIU backs off and now gives you some of those wide open perimeter shots. You got to continue to punish them at the glass.
Billingsley was 5 points on the day, looking to make it 6, but it's the backside of the iron, no good. Rebound to McPherson. Eagles winning the rebounding battle so far in this one by a +4 advantage, 14-11.
EMU back in the man-to-man.
There's Nichols. Trying to get around Terry. Nice pass in front of the Eastern Michigan bench, but that three is left short. Now we got 3 NIU players on the ground. 3 on 2 for the Eagles, but Terry, I don't think saw it as Soniak and Billingsley were with him.
No, good job by NIU getting back in transition. You have to do that when you're playing against the Eagles and Jalen Terry. Terry got through all the way to the rim, but a good pursuit by the Huskies. They got back and thwarted the attempt. Now Eastern's going to try to get back and score on an out-of-bounds under, see if they can attack.
Going to Nelson, double team comes his way, and Nelson has been on fire. That goes through, gives him double digits.
That's an outstanding out-of-bounds play. They worked on that yesterday, but that's a high-low right out of the out-of-bounds. Great play call by Stan Heath for an easy basket.
So just over 4.5 to play. It is the Huskies on top of the Eagles, 31-27. That one goes out of bounds. Another turnover, 4th of the game here for NIU. Both teams doing a nice job protecting the rock, though, Coach. 4 turnovers for NIU, 4 for EMU.
No, that's good, and you don't want to play giveaway. Teams that are too good today, if you start turning the ball over, Ryan, they're gonna make you pay. But you can see NIU staying with that zone. They're going to continue to play that zone as long as they can.
There's Soniak, right side, feeds it over to Terry. Now they go down low to Nelson. Double team comes, kicks it back out to Terry, but then it's intercepted. That was James Dent Jr. Now to Quentin Jones. Jones feeds over to the corner. Munden looking for another 3. It's the left side of the rim. Doesn't go. Goes out of bounds off the hands of Dent Jr.
Well, fortunate for Eastern. But, on the other side down the floor, Nelson lost his footing. Again, Eastern's looking to attack inside. Just got to take their time a little bit. Know they've got a size advantage, not hurry themselves.
Eastern with 10 points in the paint. That matches the Huskies so far in this game. Now they go back down low. Nelson pulls over Quentin Jones. Look at a blocking foul on Jones. So Nelson starting to take over this game, 31-27. It is the Huskies season, and Coach, you just kind of look at what he's been able to do over the last couple of games this year.
Yeah, and he's going to get the attention of his opponents. Believe me, he's at the top of your scouting list. He's not going to get guarded by one guy. He's going to get guarded by 2 and even 3. So he's got to learn how to pass out of double teams. He's got to be quick with his moves. He's going to have another defender on him, and that's the price you pay. It's the respect you get for putting in the kind of work he's put in.
So Eastern Michigan now already into the bonus. 10 team fouls for NIU after that last one by Quentin Jones, which really is big. We highlighted Jones at the start of this broadcast. Jones now with 3 fouls already in this game.
No, that's huge. And if he has to sit for a while, and if Eastern can go right back at him, that could be a factor down the stretch of this game. But that's part of the scouting report. You try to go at the guys that are at the top of the report. But if you're Eastern now it's about defense. I think their offense is starting to get a little loose. They're making some scores. Now they've got to go out there and get some stops.
31-29, Huskies on top. Eastern Michigan keeping NIU scoreless over the last 2 minutes. There's Nichols, drops it off to Butler, who's been a force so far in this game. He's got 8 points. He hasn't missed a shot, 4 of 4. There's Dent Jr. Christian Henry on him. Soniak double-teamed him. Now Nelson goes up, pulls down the rebound. That's his 3rd board to go along with his 12 points. Here's Terry now in transition. They feed it down low to Billingsley. Back to Henry. Soniak called for it. He's wide open for 3 right side. Oh, didn't hit it, but falls into the hands of Terry. Now they drop it off underneath the Billingsley. Double team comes his way, and then he'll double dribble.
Yeah, I thought there's some very good looks from EMU. Unselfish passes, had some wide open looks, and they're doing a good job moving the basketball. Just the shots haven't gone down, and then obviously have an opportunity inside, but the travel negates the possible score. But I like the defense, Ryan. I think that EMU's done a good job defensively now, getting consecutive stops.
Been able to cash in 2, 5-0 run for the Eagles. 1 for their last 4 are the Huskies, but again, Over 2.5 minutes since their last field goal, and then they flip it over. That's now their 5th turnover of the game. They're one of the best teams in the MAC to not turn the ball over.
Well, and give EMU credit because they're disrupting a little bit. They're out there pressuring the ball. They've got their hands in the passing lane. They're making, they're not making it easy. So with everybody's says, well, I'm having a tough game, but sometimes your defense has something to do that. So I like that Stan Heath's team is getting out there and forcing turnovers. They can continue to do that. They'll get some opportunities to score and convert those turnovers into some fast break opportunities.
Well, think about how this game started, right? You said eventually these teams are going to start to hit, and then Water will find its level. But Eastern missed their first 5 shots of the game.
And I said they were in good shape, and they were. They still had a tie game, but now they're trying to go inside. And I love that ability again. Eastern's not making any secret about where they want the ball to go, and they worked on that just so tediously yesterday. They put the ball on the block, and they looked at all the double team schemes that Northern has, and they're trying to do a good job now of just pass out of it.
That was their 7-0 run right now for EMU before they answer on the other side for the Huskies. The 3 goes through. That is Karan McPherson who hits. Now a steal on the other side. 2-on-1. McPherson goes right at it, too strong, and then the rebound pulled down by Nelson. Eastern flips it up. Now 3-on-2 opportunity for the Eagles should they want it. Sonic drops it off. A helter-skelter early on. They'll try to slow it down here, I believe. Instead, Nelson going to take it all the way himself and weave his way through traffic.
Wow, what a great Euro step there. That's Barishnikov at his best, right? How about the ability to change directions, come down on your pivot foot and score it? Great individual move.
How about 8 straight points for Nelson as well? 16 now in the game. Minute 30 to go. Trying to drive in, nowhere to go was Munden. Now Terry going to push the action here for Eastern Michigan. Terry with 5 points so far in this game. Nelson starting to feel it. Pump faked at the top of the key, nearly lost it. Grabs it, now puts a little floater up. There's maybe a heat check moment for him.
Yeah, I think he felt it. He's been scoring pretty easily. But you want to get in there and see if you can slow down it just a little bit. I think if Deshaun can slow down, he can probably. Look at that move, right? That's the footwork we talked about. But you get the ball, you're so close in the paint, and a lot of times players you have to play a little slower. On offense you can be a little slower, believe it or not. It's defense you got to be quicker. You have to anticipate, stay ahead of the ball. But offense, if you hurry yourself, you're going to travel, and that's where EMU's turnovers have come by just being a little bit too careless and being in a hurry.
We showed you that stat about what he's done over the last few games. Again, 9 straight double-digit games. 16 at Davidson, 27 against Wright State, 10 against Purdue-Fort Wayne. He had a 24 earlier this season as well against Detroit Mercy. And already 16 with a minute to go here in the first half against NIU as the Huskies come back with a vengeance. Eastern tied it up at 31, but now back-to-back threes. They get a 4-point game again.
Yeah, that's a big-time 3 from the corner.
Trent hints that one, and now Eastern trying to answer on the other side, rattles around the rim, pops back off. So Teroff makes it 37-33. See what NIU can do here. Nichols trying to drive in, a little floater in the lane, that one offline, and Eastern now can hold for the final shot.
Yeah, Stan, he's up on the bench, instructing his players, hey guys, let's play for 1. Let's try to climb within 2 or 1, but let's not give Northern Illinois the last shot of the half, and they shouldn't. Maybe allow a little time for an offensive tip or rebound as well.
There's Terry, screen nearly set by Nelson, 5 seconds on the clock. Terry drops it off right side, Pettigrew has it, Nelson was calling for it, and he can't get it off before the buzzer. Wouldn't have made a difference anyway, as it hits the backside of the rim. Very entertaining first half. Huskies, though, with the lead, 37-33, being led by a couple of players in Butler and Nichols. Nelson leading the way for the Eagles.
Real challenge is going to be defensively. Can you go back out now and slow this NIU team down that's starting to feel a little confident now?
So 37-33, Ryan Woolley, head coach Ben Braun, former coach here at Eastern Michigan. Glad you could join us here on this Saturday as Eastern Michigan and NIU open up the conference slate.
Yeah, good possession to start the half, Ryan. You get a steal, a takeaway, a turnover to start the half for NIU, and now EMU's putting some fouls back on NIU, so it's kind of the way you want to start the half.
We talked about points in the paint too, Coach. Eastern Michigan still winning that battle in this one with a +4 advantage, 14-10. Tried to go down low on that last possession. Now they launch one, doesn't go. Backside of the iron. Rebound pulled down here by Jones. Interested to see how fast he may get going. Again, with those 3 fouls, how active he'll be. He feeds it right side to Butler, who looked pretty good in the first half. Knocked away there by Billingsley, but still corralled near the block E. 13 seconds on the shot clock here for Dent. Now driving baselines. Nichols drops it off. Turnaround shot doesn't go. Billingsley skies high for the rebound. Give him 2 in the game.
Yeah, good challenge at the rim.
There's Billingsley left wide open. Top of the key. How about that? Defensively grabbed the rebound. Offensively popped the 3, and you're within 1.
When it's your day, it's your day. And you talk about heat check. He said, I can make that.
So Billingsley, now with 8 points in this game, 2 of 3 from the floor. We'll have a whistle on the other side.
Well, there was looked like a block shot, but there must have been some contact down low. You know, you want to, when you put runs together, you got to be good on both sides of the floor, Ryan. There's no such thing as a run if you're not stopping people. You can be hot as you want, but then you got to get some stops. So EMU's just trying to get that balance back where they get stopped, stay out, keep NIU off the foul line, and if they do that, they can separate.
And they did keep them off the foul line in the first 20. They were there just 5 times. They made 4. First opportunity here in the second half is James Dent Jr. hits. Dent Jr., 25th in the MAC in scoring this year. 9th in made 3s. He's averaging 2 a game. Already has 1 in this contest.
You want to challenge. Obviously, a great shooter. You got to challenge, but you have to avoid fouling the 3-point shooter. It's just a cardinal rule.
So he'll make 2. Now looking for his 3rd, up 3. Largest lead of the game for the Huskies has been 7. It was when it's 31-24. Largest lead for Eastern was 18-13, a 5-point advantage. So all 3 free throws are through, and it's back to a 4-point game. There's Terry trying to get going. He launches a 3. That one's halfway down, popped out, and then Dent Jr. right there for the board. Give him 5 in the game.
Yeah, another missed shot by EMU. Pretty open look for Jalen.
Eagles now 4 of 16 from the long line. And this one, and that one picked off by Tingler. Then he ran right into Christian Henry, but now the Eagles have control of it. Terry again looking for a left wing 3, and that one goes through.
I love the confidence. You know, Jalen Terry knew he was on target, and he bottomed the last one out. He said, you know what, if I get this look again, I'm nailing it. And he did.
So back-to-back 3s for Eastern Michigan to start the second half. Back to a 1-point game. Nichols trying to answer. That one from in front of his bench. No good. And now Henry with the ball. Henry, oh, the lane opened up. Lobs it up and then slams it home. Deshaun Nelson again electrifies the crowd.
Ryan, how about the unselfishness of Jalen Terry? Has a wide open layup, or Henry rather, and he throws the ball up to his teammate. That's unselfish basketball. Gotta love it.
That lane split like the sea. And as you said, he probably could have took it himself.
Oh, wide open.
Now trying to answer is Dent. Oh, wow. Talk about silencing the crowd. And then Rashawn Burno will take a timeout after the 3 as James Dent Jr. rises up again. His second 3 of the game. And the Huskies right back on top, but look at this.
Oh.
Nelson, have yourself a day. 9 straight games of at least 10 or more points. You see it right there, 18 points. He's had himself a great game, 7 of 10 from the floor. He also has 4 rebounds, assist, and a block.
Nah, he's done it all.
Last field goal, though, was from Dent Jr. He made the 3, and then a timeout. Butler came out. You were talking to me during the break that Rashawn Burno not happy with something that Butler did defensively, and then Eastern comes right back out of the timeout and answers the call with guess who? Deshaun Nelson.
Yeah, another great inside look by Nelson. I mean, just with his force, they have no answer right now. NIU really nothing inside, and give Nelson credit. He's able to get to the rim and just use his body and his strength to go up. But, you know, Coach Burno not happy with Ethan Butler and just called a timeout basically to sub him out of the game. And, you know, sometimes coaches got to send messages. And if you know anything about Coach Burno's background, he's a winner, been a winner at every level. He's coached at and played at it. DePaul coached against him when I was coaching it back at Cal. He's a competitor, so he's not going to put up with anything less than his standard.
Do you miss coaching at all?
I do, but, you know, there's times, too, it gets tough, too, especially today. We can get in that later. NIL, all the things that are going on now. It's a different game.
Very different game, and right now it's a different game for Eastern Michigan, back in front by 1, but every time they get the lead, the Huskies right there to take it right back. Turnaround jump shot is good, 45-44 as Jones hits. Here's Henry trying to drive in. Tingler was calling for it in the corner, couldn't get it over to him. Now they feed down low to Billingsley, one-on-one for Billingsley, and didn't get the shot, but does get the foul.
No, it's a great look, another unselfish play that, Eastern's doing a good job of recognizing where they've got post-ups. And Stan Heath said to us in practice yesterday, they've got to get the ball inside. They feel they've got a real advantage at the rim, and they're going there repeatedly. And if you're Billingsley, you just got to slow yourself down. He's such a good player inside. Sometimes tends to go a little faster than he needs to, but give him credit. He's posting up, he's got good footwork, and he gets to the rim.
Well, Billingsley with 8 points, trying to add on to it with the free throws. He will miss his first. He's now 3 of 7 from the line. Coach, just to quickly follow up what you're talking about, NIL certainly has changed the sport in, I guess, positive and negative ways, depending on what coaches feel, but you almost have to just recruit your own players to stay while you're also recruiting players to come.
Yeah, it's tough because nowadays some of the best players, especially at mid-level, Ryan, they have great years, and now they get offers to play high major, and they make money. Very hard to turn those opportunities down. So some of the teams we had at Eastern would have been tough to keep some of the guys, right. Today, because they're as good as they are. They're going to get a payday.
Talking about some of the players that you had, and you look up at the Raptors, and you see, Grant Long was, of course, here with his jersey, but Earl Boykin's a player that you would have had, or, we had Lorenzo Neely, and you look at the success with the Sweet 16 banners. What does it mean to you to walk into the George Gervin Web Center? We've had you now for a couple years. Obviously, your name's on the court, and you mentioned it's humbling to you, but to know that you're so well loved and respected by so many people, players and fans alike.
Well, it feels great because there's been a lot of tradition at Eastern Michigan. Not just in basketball, Ryan. You pass by Ron Ostrike Field, which I knew Ron. My office was near him, and Bob Parks. So you shared a practice facility with him, and see his name being honored, and all the the great coaches that have preceded me. It wasn't just basketball, but just to be a part of it really is humbling. But it's a proud moment. So I really can't thank Eastern enough for the gesture, and it's fun to be here with you. By the way, you're royalty. I call you the broadcast royalty. So it's fun to be a part of a traditional winning program.
I'm honored to be here, but no, it's always fun to work with you, Coach, and even seeing Jim Streeter, a long time.
Oh my goodness!
I mean, look, I love Jim Streeter. I love Greg Steiner. I've had the opportunity to work with these guys for many, many years. But the love you and Jim were showing before the game, I mean, it's something special.
Well, but I don't want him to get jealous because I love Greg Steiner too. So I don't want Jim to feel I've lost the love. But those guys work so hard, and they bleed green.
Yes.
They've always bled green, and they continue to bleed green. This is what they do in their time off. They work hard. They're tireless workers that work around the clock. So a lot of respect for the guys behind the scenes.
There's Nelson, baseline jump shot. That one left short. It's a tie ball game, 45-45 between the Huskies and the Eagles. A near block underneath. Driving in was Quentin Jones, who's still playing with those 3 fouls. And that's going to take us to immediate timeout. You see the Sweet 16 banner hanging. That's what Stan Heath's hoping to bring here to the Eagles.
They've been able to win. So, you want to be able to do that, but you also want to hope to get your students back. And getting student support's huge. And if the students can come back here, I know we're on break right now, but students come back, support the program. That's huge. Community support. Seeing some great crowds. When the crowds have been good, I think players play better. Yep. And the opposing team feels it a little bit.
100%.
Makes it a little tougher for the opponents to come in here and win some games. So those are really big things. And obviously you want your alumni coming back. But you have put a good project on the floor, an exciting team like the Eagles have now. They're a fun team to watch.
Very fun. Jalen Terry certainly can score. We've seen Deshaun Nelson put on a performance. Jalen Billingsley has had a nice game. They've got pieces around him. Christian Henry can shoot the rock. He's got the ball right now. Trying to back down his defender. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Hits the bucket to go. And the and one coming. Nichols will be charged with the foul.
Well, you knew he wanted the ball. That's a sign of a good player. Christian Henry just asked for the ball. Said, let me go to work. I've got a mismatch. and he just willed himself to the free throw line and a chance for a three-point play. Great opportunity for Christian Henry.
Henry, a 6'3" junior guard out of Chicago, third on the team in scoring at 13 points a game. He's 15th in the MAC overall, 7th in assists when he hits the and one.
Well, I kidded him before the game. He and I shared some time. I said, look, you're from Chicago now. Us players from Chicago stick together now. See what you got here. So we exchanged stories. He played, obviously, in a tough Chicago league against some very good teams.
You know, Coach, I also want to go back to something you were just talking about, fan support. One of my favorite memories was the Mid-American Conference Tournament first round games when they had them on campus sites, and it was the Eagles against Toledo, and the Rocket faithful always traveled well. And we had, I don't want to say over-exaggerate, the lower bowl was almost pretty much full as far as the Toledo fans and Eastern Michigan fans, and I just would love to see this arena jump.
You know, Ryan, I think that these can get back there. It's fun. It's contagious. When it happens, it kind of spreads like wildfire. You know, back in the day, I can say it now, we kind of let the back doors open. We let a little crack in it. Fire marshal said you got too many people, and we have to shut down how many people you get in here. The assistant coach used to put a little stopper in the door. We found a way around that.
That was the field house, of course.
Bowen Field.
Sonic travels, another turnover for Eastern Michigan, 8th of the day.
No, but you bring up a great point, and it's worth talking about that, you know, the great programs, when you can get your campus community, your local community as well, to come out and support you, it is fun, and it's contagious. You get, you know, youngsters coming out, you get your local high schools that want to send players to play for you, so it all kind of comes together, and Eastern's proven that they can do it over time. And I think Stan's got a program that can make some noise. They'd love to get a big conference win in the opener for sure.
Right now they got a 2-point lead. They've led by as many as 5. They've trailed by as much as 7. It's been back and forth. Every time the Eagles seem to get the lead, the Huskies come back and take it right back, just like they do right there. Spotting for the 3 in the corner again is Soteroff, and it's back to a 1-point Husky lead.
Yeah, I think Eastern's doing a good job initially coming off and helping on ball screens. Now you got to chase off your man, and you got to rotate. You got to leave the furthest guy from the ball unguarded.
Story of this game has been the 3-point shooting. NIU came in 9th in the MAC at 32%. They are hitting at 56% from the long line in this one, 9 of 16.
Well, they've had some open looks, and it's easier to shoot open threes than contested threes, that's for sure.
Soteroff with it again. Feeds it right side, and it went off the hands of Eastern Michigan's Jalen Terry.
Yeah, Jalen Terry did a great job on this possession. He was out denying the wing, helping on ball penetration, jumping back in the passing lane and back to his man. And that's what you have to look like when you want to play good defense. Ryan, you got to look like there's 7 guys out there. You want guys everywhere in driving lanes, passing lanes, and just making it tough. And when Eastern plays that kind of defense, they're explosive, they're tough.
Take a look at the bench points here, too. I mean, the Eagles not getting anything off the pine, but 14 points for the Huskies.
Another good defensive possession for Eastern.
There's Billingsley trying to back his man down. Double team comes. Out to Henry. 7 minutes gone by here in the second half. Billingsley didn't get it to go, nearly put back by Tingler, then falls into the hands of Teroff. Now trying to push it up to Munden Jr., spins. They're going to wave it off. They're going to get a foul on Terry underneath.
Yeah, he felt he was there early, but the referees, I think, felt that there was some body-to-body contact there. Again, NIU doing a good job getting the ball back out in transition and showing their quickness. They got a smaller team, but a very quick team.
And, you know, I also want to just talk about Rashawn Burnell for a minute, because with him now being in his 4th season, you can draw comparisons to Stan Heath and Burnell and what they're doing within the same years. Last year, he guided NIU to a 5-1 start. It was their best start since the 15-16 campaign, while the 22-23 season saw the Huskies actually return to the MAC tournament for the first time in 3 years. And we were talking to Tom Helmer, the radio broadcaster for Eastern Michigan, about that, where Tom's like, I haven't been to Cleveland with this team yet.
No, and exactly, and that's what you want to do if you're a coach. You just want your team to be competitive, play in a tournament, and once you're in a tournament, anything can happen. So get there and then advance, and that's how you know how you can advance your team into postseason play.
And, you know, do you like the format where it's just the top 8 teams going, or would you rather see the on-campus sites again and then you only automatic bids?
I like going to a site. I never really cared too much, unless it was my site, unless we were playing here at the friendly confines of AMU Bowen Fieldhouse or now, here. But you definitely like the tournament atmosphere. It's fun, and I think everybody deserves a chance to play in it.
Right now it's just the top 8. Eastern would love to get there. Here's Nelson. I'll tell you what, with the roster they have, they should be in the top 8. That's not fodder or an Eastern Michigan homer. Like they have talent on this team.
Yeah,
They've just got to put it together.
And that's fair. I think Stan Heath will tell you the same thing, and their players will tell you that. They have the ability, and I think if they can put it all together. And again, it's just playing both sides of the floor. I always tell teams, and I think Stan and I talked about it yesterday. Sometimes you're not as good as when you're really good, but you're not as bad as when you have the lulls. And you want to be that team that's consistent. But Eastern Michigan, with their 4, almost 5 guys in double figures, that's a difficult team to play against. Now they start putting some defensive efforts and stops together. They're a whole different team. So you want to see that, and good things happen.
Yeah, they got 4 guys averaging at least 10.5 or more so far a game. The first time since the '91 season, which Lorenzo Neely was a part of. He joined us earlier in the first half.
That's balance, and it's really hard to key on a team when you've got that kind of balance.
There's Henry, 7 seconds to shoot. Double team comes. Terry was calling for it. Pump fake, now open for 3, partially blocked. Now Nelson throws it up as the shot clock winds down, and why not? Deshaun Nelson hits it again. 25 points.
It's got to be his birthday. Please look into this. I don't think our staff people are doing their job. It's got to be Nelson's birthday, right? Happy birthday to Deshaun Nelson.
2 away from a career high for Deshaun, and he's still got a whole half to go here in the second half. Here's Jones, drops it off, 8 seconds, on top of the key, doesn't go. Nice box out by Dylan Tingler, or make that God's way. Now trying to answer, here's Henry. That shot offline, but I'll tell you what, Deshaun Nelson putting on a show, 10 of 14 from the floor, and hit as the shot clock was winding down.
Yeah, that was amazing. Amazing shot.
Back-to-back buckets for him. It's a 7-3 run right now here for Eastern Michigan. NIU's gone cold over the last 3.
No, EMU is getting stops, Ryan, so now they just have to convert. They've got to be able to get some ability to get the ball out in transition or do what they've been doing, get the ball back into Nelson's hands.
They're working around to Tingler here, right side, drives in, and they're going to get a foul charged on Butler. Jones, who we spotlighted in the open, coach, second in the league with 14 blocks so far this year. Doesn't have one in this game, but remember, he had foul trouble early, but he's come on strong in the second frame.
Well, it makes a difference when you can, have a guy at the end of a shot clock maybe negate you. But how about that shot? Go back to Nelson's shot. I mean, the shot clock winding down. He had the presence of mind, Ryan, to get the ball and throw it back to the rim and score it. Now, if you're EMU coming out of a timeout, you've got to continue to go to Nelson, but keep an eye on NIU, because they're probably going to make some adjustments. Either they're going to play a zone or they're going to double team or triple, get the ball out of Nelson's hands. Nelson, therefore, must find open guys. They must spot up, and now you can have some open threes and maybe have some fun and knock down some shots.
Now, they've not had an answer for Nelson. 25 points in tonight's game, 10 of 14 from the floor. Outlet pass comes behind the timeline to Henry.
Well, here's the zone we talked about. Now they're going to try to get a guy in front of Nelson and a guy over the top.
Oh, they lob it into Billingsley, and he's able to put it up and in.
Well, just when you think you've got Nelson covered, Billingsley sneaks behind the zone. An excellent move to go where the defense doesn't see you. Great look.
And that goes back to what I was talking about with EMU, where I just feel like this team has the talent to be in that top 8 because they actually have the bigs that they can play down low and stretch it out.
No, they got big guys that can shoot it as well, right? And it sure makes it easier to shoot if your inside presence is demanding some respect. But look at the pass that Henry sees his teammate. That's a great look, has his head up, as good guards do, and Henry goes up. Billinger goes up and just nails the shot and the reception and the shot. Great job, great combination.
That's his 5th assist for Christian Henry. It's the 11th point for Billingsley in this game. Now Henry, no-look pass underneath to Nelson. He's bumped by McPherson, so he'll get the foul.
Well, I think Christian Henry's making a big difference in this game because he's finding the seams, he's getting the ball to his open looks to his teammates, and again, if you're Billingsley and you're Nelson, don't be afraid to go up and get a foul. Sometimes you sense you might get your shot blocked, but I don't care if you're a great shot blocker. Eventually, those guys you have to make them earn it and get to the line. So, but Eastern's got the ability. They've been in the paint almost every possession now. 11
straight games of 10 or more assists for Eastern Michigan. They're 1 away from adding on to that. So far 9 in this game. Again, 5 from Henry alone. Nice spin by Nelson. Puts it up. That one's left short. And then it's stolen away by Tingler. And he'll slam it home. Eastern Michigan on an 11-3 run, and they now lead at 56-49. And then on the other side, quickly, the Huskies trying to find their way down low.
I love Dylan Tingler with his anticipation, stepping in the passing lane. That's a huge basket. I mean, that gives you some separation, and Eastern hasn't had a lot of separation, but what a heads-up play by Dylan Tingler. Great play.
Dare I say he tingled the nets.
Yes.
Double-handed slam by Tingler. That matches the largest lead of the game. There was a foul on the other side on Jalen Terry. It is his third. And that will put the Huskies at the line. They'll convert their first. So McPherson makes it a 6-point game again. And he'll hit his second. But Eastern Michigan using a large run to grab the lead, 56-51. Again, 11-3 run. There's Nelson.
Well, here's the zone again. They're trying to pressure out a little bit, but they've got to protect the paint. They're just giving up baskets to the paint. And there it is.
Wow.
Wow is right, Ryan. I mean, Christian Henry is feeling it. He's making every right move, every right read. He's penetrating, taking with the defense. Here he is, jump stop, great body control, a finish, and a chance for a 3-point play.
Eastern already converted one of them. Nothing but net as he puts it up. As you said, absorb the contact, good body control.
Well, NIU's done a good job on Jalen Terry. I don't know Jalen's missed some shots he normally makes, but you know, it's tough when you have two good players, as you mentioned, the balance of a Terry and a Henry. It's hard to stop two guys from the perimeter.
Wow, that one went all the way around the rim, finally falls through, and now Eastern Michigan with their largest lead of the game.
Well, if you want this lead to last, Ryan, you got to dig in here defensively. And Eastern's going to dig in here, I think, trying to get some stops and create some more separation. But they've got to get it done defensively.
Huskies 1 for their last 6 down the floor. They're 1 for the last 4 from the long line. That's Butler driving in, and he's really had that all game long.
Yeah, and then the sea parted because there was nobody at home. You've got to stay at home, but you can't allow direct line penetration.
Butler now into double figures. He has 10. That's just behind Dent Jr.'s 11. And here's Billingsley just muscling his way back in.
Well, he might have got away with a little bit of a step in there, but the officials, that must have happened so fast they didn't see it. So Billingsley with the deuce.
You saw that stat, points in the paint too. Eastern doubling up NIU 30-14.
Well, that's the second time now that EMU's fouled a three-point shooter, and that was going to be a difficult shot. You know, you want to challenge up in the corner. The last thing you want to do is just go up and create a three-point free throw situation. That just drives coaches crazy. You asked me if I miss coaching. not after plays like that, because it just frustrates you, because you drill that, believe me, as a coaching staff, you drill that in practice all the time, and then to see your players, kind of have a little bit of a letdown, it's frustrating. It's a mental mistake. It's not a physical mistake.
What do you feel was the hardest part about coaching overall?
Well, I think it's to really carry over. I mean, first you get your players going in practice, and then try to get them to carry over what they've done in practice. And hopefully if you've done it in practice, you can do it in the game. But you want your players so badly to do the things that you've done and be consistent, right? I guess if there's just one word, it's consistency. Can you play from possession to possession, from game to game, from timeout to timeout, consistently? And that seems to be a really difficult thing to do, because by nature we're not always consistent people. We have lulls, we have ups and downs, we have highs and lows. But if you really want to be good, the great players, the great teams, they show you consistency. They can do it day in and day out, and they don't have the lulls, and they don't give up the runs.
Well, McPherson's been consistent. You want to talk about consistency. Yeah. 7 of 7 from the stripe. Just made his last 3 again. He's now in double figures with 10. Here's Henry. Drives in, and then he throws it away into the Eastern Michigan bench. So just the 9th turnover of the day for the Eagles, but that's a big one.
No, they haven't turned it over much, but that's a play where you drive baseline. Your scheme is to set up in the corner, set up at the free throw line extended. There are certain spots on the floor you must be. And then you also don't want to leave your feet, not give yourself a chance to come down and have to force yourself to throw a ball inadvertently.
McPherson will have it. Again, he made those 3, and we're going to get a foul on Soniak on the floor just as he drove past the three-point arc. Kennedy, he had 20 of that year. Carl Thomas, 14. Lorenzo Neely, who we had on the broadcast earlier, at 11.6. And Corey Hallis with 11.5.
Yeah, man, Charles Thomas is right around 10 and maybe 9 right under it, so that's almost 5. But anytime you can get a team with that balance, you're right. That's a recipe for success. So EMU certainly has the balance to score with teams. Now, again, the challenge is, can you give up? Can you avoid giving up the runs they've given up? Because every time they've had a little bit of a lead and some cushion, NIU stormed right back. So that's what Stan Heath and his staff, I know, have talked about in the timeout. Let's get some stops. Let's not allow guys to get to the rim and get to the foul line. NIU's really basically just trying to get to the foul line now, Ryan. They're trying to drive it. They know they can get into the bonus. So if you're Eastern Michigan, you've got to keep people out of the paint and make them kick for shots, but then get out and defend the three, because Northern Illinois has shot the three extremely well.
Well, right now it is 5 straight points at the free throw line, all from McPherson. McPherson now with 12 points. He's 9 of 9 from the free throw line. Eastern with 18 fouls, 7 for the Huskies, and we have just under 8 minutes to play. And it's no surprise, too, Coach. You mentioned how are they going to try to slow down Nelson. They were going to come out with the zone, and since they've done that, Eastern's really struggled offensively.
Well, he again had a look at the rim. I think avoided contact. He had a chance to put the ball in the basket.
Second chance opportunity by Butler. McPherson's shot was left short. Butler right there with an offensive rebound between 3 white shirts, and what was an 8-point lead now down to 1.
Now, that's the only third offensive rebound of the game, but that's the wrong time to give up an offensive rebound. Eastern has been so good on the glass.
7-0 run. They're moving around to Soniak in the corner. Back to Nelson. Now they go down low to Billingsley, and he'll hammer it home. Another dunk by Eastern Michigan in this game, and it's back to a 3-point lead.
Great scheme again, the high-low. Get the ball in the high post. The zone has to collapse, and they don't get there in time. It's just too hard to cover a high-low.
That is Billingsley's 15th point. McPherson starting to heat up for the Huskies. He has it again. That one doesn't go. Nelson with the rebound, and they're going to get McPherson for the foul as Nelson was trying to protect the rock.
Well, again, Ryan, watch the ability. I mean, this is a dunk, but how is the dunk created? Look at the high-low seal underneath. That's just no defense to stop that. Great job. Look at his body position, using his backside to create space and then reception for the score. As a coaching staff, you spend so much time in practice to do that. It's great to see teams execute and pull that off in a game.
Well, Eastern Michigan will walk the length of the floor. Nelson will head back to the line. Again, he's 2 away from his career high. Already 25 points in this game. He's been perfect at the line so far today as well. 5 of 5. Eastern as a team 13 of 17 overall.
Well, and Eastern struggled from the 3 today. Look at the percentages. You're 2 for 12 from 3. 4 for 18 from 3. But you're going to get some shots if you can continue to get some inside presence for sure.
Taking a look at some finals from around the league. Of course, the MAC getting underway today. Buffalo falling to Miami, 93-79. It was Toledo, 6 better than Western Michigan, 76-70. Hard to believe conference play is here.
No, it's here, and we're in it. We're knee deep in it, Ryan. This is a great opener.
New season, new opportunity for all these teams. Butler comes out, sets the screen here for James Dent Jr. Now they work it around left side. That's Munden for 3, and he fills it up. NIU is just blistering Eastern Michigan from downtown. Now their 10th three-pointer of the game. 6th time they have had at least 10 or more threes in a game this year.
Well, and it's from the inside, the drives inside.
Eastern trying to answer. They work it inside out. That one's left short. Pettigrew's shot nowhere near the rim, and now the Huskies can reclaim the lead with the next bucket.
Yeah, Eastern only given up 1 assist this half, but now with the penetration and dish, that's the 2nd assist. So if EMU can keep the ball in front of them and not get beat off the dribble, they can do a better job of getting out to the shooters.
10-3 run right now for the Huskies. Eastern grabs the rebound. Again, it's Nelson. Nelson with 8 boards to go along with his 26. In transition, Pettigrew trying to respond from the one he left short. That one no good. As a coach, do you like that in transition?
Well, you want to get there before the defense is set. So if you can do that, that's going to pay dividends. He had a wide open look, just didn't knock it down, and trying to put himself back in the shot completion column because he had just missed the last one.
And then an effort play goes down and gets the rebound on the other side.
And that's what you like. That's what you want to look at is don't hang your head on a missed shot. Go and make a play for your team.
There's Terry. Nowhere to go. Feeds it over to Pettigrew again. Try to feed it down to Nelson. 4 seconds to shoot. Nelson's got to put it up. Body contact near the window, but didn't touch the rim, so a shot clock violation.
Yeah, I had a chance again, go up and maybe get a foul call. Just kind of hurried it over the glass and over the backboard, or off the backboard. But, I think NIU did a good job getting that ball down, the clock down, and they did it because they doubled and triple teamed, and they're changing their schemes. They double off the catch, they doubling it off the dribble, and so now EMU's got to get to those open areas and make them pay. If Eastern Michigan gets some open looks, Ryan, they can knock them down. They're capable.
Right now, Dent Jr. with 11, Butler with 12, and McPherson with 12. The Huskies starting to have some momentum, but they've not been able to reclaim the lead just yet. They fell down by 8, but have not got to the mountaintop.
Now, tough to go at Eastern Michigan.
There's Henry. Floater in the lane. That's a big bucket for the Eagles.
Yeah, that's just a very simple play to take what the defense gives you. Again, the challenge comes on this end, Ryan. Keep your eyes on the Eagles. If they get stops, good things happen.
Here's Dent Jr. again, the left side. Trying to drive around baseline. He does. What a move. He was looking for the foul, didn't get it, but it's back to a 1-point lead.
And Eastern, usually they down the screen, they kind of turn it down a little bit, but there was nobody there on the baseline side. So, you can't give up direct line drives because there's nobody there to help.
Henry again. Feeds it left side. This is Terry for 3. Backside of the iron, doesn't go, and then James Dent Jr. with the rebound. Now Jones trying to push it, goes right at Henry, leaves it short. Henry with the rebound. Now drops it off to Nelson! One-handed jam all the way through! Deshaun Nelson with 28 and a new career high.
Have a big day, big fella. What a big-time finish on the pass.
That started with Henry's rebound, and then Nelson finished on the other end. Now the crowd's starting to get into it behind us. That 3 offline. Nichols nearly had the rebound, goes out of bounds. Last touch by Eastern. But what a job defensively by Henry, and then it leads to the dunk. Watch this. Oh! Tomahawk.
So the Eagles have got to shoot it better than 4 for 21, and they have. They've been at 33% all season. So just continue to play basketball, play through. Deshaun Nelson, good things will happen.
That's his 4th 20-plus point game this season. But the Huskies have answered the bell every time. That's Butler trying to get in on Billingsley. They're going to get Billingsley for the foul. That will be his 2nd. And we talked about Eastern bending but not breaking. They got the 8-point lead at the 8:27 mark, and since then, it's been now played within this 1 to 3 point window.
Well, and you see what NIU's trying to do. They're trying to isolate, use their quickness, get into the big fellas and drive and get to the foul line. So Eastern's got to move their feet. They got to gap them, which means you play at about 7 feet away, 6 feet away. You give them some space because they're not really a great shooting team, although they've made open threes today. A big difference between contested threes and open threes.
First one is good by Butler, and we were talking about fans being in attendance. Now this is probably the last game before the basketball band actually arrives, and normally during free throws there's a basketball band member down there that has a horse head and an eagle head because they try to distract the free throw shooters.
Yeah.
How much do you think that really works?
Well, it does. I think it. You can get in your head, but it just gets the noise level louder. It just makes players play a little bit more frenetically.
Here's Nelson, lays it up. Oh, that one too short. Nearly had his own rebound, though. Fight for it underneath Billingsley right there as well, but the Huskies come away with it. Munden. Now Nichols drops it off to Jones here left side. 2:47 to go. It's a 1-point game. Eagles on top. NIU will reset it. James Dent Jr. controlling it here to the block E. Looked over to Rashawn Burno. Back to Jones. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Henry all over him. Jones going to pull up for 3. That one is airballed out of bounds. Not happy with it is Jones.
And not happy about it is Rashawn Burno. He said, we got to do better than that. We can't come up with an air ball. I mean, they were within an eyelash of taking the lead here with almost 2 to go. So EMU, really good defensive pressure. That was a great possession defensively.
Jones now with 8 points. He is playing with 4 fouls. Remember, he had 3 early in this game. Here's Henry. Drops it off to Nelson. 1-point game still. That's a kick ball, so we'll stay with Eastern with 2:09 to play and 20 on the shot clock.
Well, Nelson and Billingsley are enjoying the ability to score and get open looks from inside. They're just, NIU hasn't found an answer for that yet because it's tough to get around big guys who have got their 2 feet in the paint. If you're going to post up, this is a textbook way to post up. You post up, get both feet in the paint. Now there's really no help side.
Now the officials heading over to the scorers table. One official's calling for the ball near the Eastern Michigan bench.
Well, they're allowing Billingsley, obviously, to retape a hand. They don't want to have blood showing, and he's better now. It's a shooting hand, but he'll play through this. There's 2 minutes to go in the game. You don't worry about injuries. You'll tape it up, and you'll soak in some ice later, Ryan.
And he's played 30 minutes so far today, too, and he's been a factor. 15 points, 4 boards. Eastern Michigan right now being led again by Deshaun Nelson. He has 28, 11 of 19 from the floor, 6 of 7 from the line. He's 1 board away from a double-double.
Yeah, this is a really important time to remind both teams. You know, if you're in the NIU huddle, you're talking about, guys, we can't turn it over. We can do anything else, but let's not turn it over. Let's get to the foul line. We've been getting there. Let's isolate and try to drive, and if they close in on our drives, let's kick for open threes. We've hit them. If you're in EMU, continue to go where you've been successful. Go inside, get good looks, and by the same token, let's get to the foul line. If we can't get an easy basket, let's do that, and if they double us, let's then knock down what should be an open three, because EMU is capable of knocking down shots.
Just 4 threes so far in this game for EMU, though. Here's Terry. Drops it back off to Henry. Drives in. Double team comes. No look pass to Nelson, and again slams it home to give the Eagles a 3-point lead.
Man, how good has Christian Henry been in traffic, Ryan, delivering that pocket pass. Excellent look.
8th assist for Henry in the game alone. Let's see what the Huskies do to answer on the other side. This is Jones, again playing with those 4 fouls. Drops it off to Butler. His 3 offline. Jalen Billingsley with a huge rebound.
Now if you're EMU, you don't want to be in a hurry. You want to see now, just get a sure one, and maybe go back to the free throw line if you can.
Tingler looking for 3. He fills it up! You called it, Coach! You called it!
Well, now you got a guard, and what a great look from the corner. Wide open. They were so concerned about inside presence that you got Tingley from the corner nailing a huge 3-point shot.
That one right in front of the Eastern Michigan bench. Just their 5th 3, but arguably their biggest.
Yeah, let's look at that one again. That's just a good look. He lets his teammates know. I mean, he said, you can't let me shoot that. I'll hit that. That's a horse game for me. But again, why is he so open? Because you're putting all your attention on EMU's big guys. Nelson's gone for almost 30. And Billingsley's a load, so you have to pinch your defenders inside the paint. So when the penetration comes, you dish and you get to the open spots. Where are the open spots? Dead corners. That's where you're taught to spot up.
7-2 run right now for Eastern Michigan to build this lead, 73-67. They led by as many as 8.
Well, now if you're EMU, again, and I know this is being discussed in the timeout, why I know Stan Heath, I haven't coached him, but I also know his staff. I coached against all the guys on their staff. Jay Smith, Bob Simon. They've got, it's John Trice. They've got guys that have been around, and they're just employing their team now. Guys, we got to get a stop, but more importantly, if they hit a shot, let's make sure they hit a shot. Let's not stop the clock. Let's not foul. So that's the message here. Play defense, but don't foul.
Eastern Michigan with 9 team fouls, 8 for the Huskies.
Yeah, don't want to put them in the bonus, double bonus.
Minute 10 to go. MAC opener for Eastern Michigan and NIU. There's Dent Jr. trying to drive in. And there's the foul.
Yeah, you want to make him pull up, hit that shot, because now what that allows you to do is get the 2 shots and set up your press. Now NIU can set up the press, maybe decide who they want to foul. They don't have that luxury if you don't foul and there's a missed shot, or even if they make a shot, unless they call a timeout.
Well, you talked about peaks and valleys and highs and lows in this game about runs. How about Dylan Tingler? He had that huge 3, huge momentum swing for Eastern Michigan to make that a 6-point lead, and then on the other side, he picks up his 5th foul, so now he'll take a seat. Yeah,
it's unfortunate because he's had such a good game, but how about the NU staff knowing and having Tingler ready to play? I mean, that's pressing the right button. Sometimes the guys that haven't played as much, you give them the opportunity and they played, but now if you're EMU, you just got to hope you hold on, play your good defense, and then they're going to play the foul game. You're going to have to make some free throws.
Looking at the Huskies' upcoming schedule following today's game, we'll have Kent State on the 7th of January, then hit the road at Ohio, and then back-to-back home games against Miami and Central. Right now they're focusing on this one. They're down 73-67. Back at the line is James Dent Jr. He's already got 13 points. He's made 5 of 6 free throws in this game, and as a team, they've really cashed in. They've only missed 2 all game.
Right, and again, this is their MO. They want to get to the foul line. So your EMU right now, either take some time off the clock, but don't turn it over, get it in safely, and then you're going to have to make free throws.
Makes both. 73-69. So 2 big things in this possession, right? 1, don't turn it over, but 2, you got to find a way to score either with a field goal or free throw.
Right, you're going to have another possession at least, and NIU's going to get the ball back, but you want to take a little time down. But if you can get on the board here either by getting to the free throw line or score it, that would be huge.
This is Terry. He's got 13 on the shot clock. Nichols with him. Over to Nelson, now to Henry. Henry's open for 3. Hits the backside of the iron there. Soniak was almost able to tip that one to his teammate Jones, then lost it off his foot, but it's picked up by James Dent Jr. A lot of time, though, being ticked off here for the Huskies. Jones driving in, gets around Nelson, and with 23 seconds to go, we got a tight one, 73-71.
Yeah, a little bit too soon, too quickly. If you're MU, you got to make them take a little time. Now the timeout comes, and again, if you're NIU, you're going to get time to try to get a steal, but you're probably going to have to fight against the clock. You want to take some time, but you're going to have to make some plays. 23 seconds is an eternity, but you do yourself a favor if you take care of the basketball and salt the game away at the free throw line.
What point do you foul here if you're NIU? Right away?
I don't think you have to foul right away at all. I think you can pressure.
So it's 73-71. A new pressure. Terry nearly lost it. He does. Munden with it. He's going to take it in. Leaves it short. Rebound underneath by Jihad.
Oh, well, there was the pressure. I answered the question, and NIU played it to the tee, Ryan. They had time to get a trap. They forced Terry up the sideline. They made the steal, went to the basket, and how about the missed shot? No foul call, no contact. The officials right on the play. EMU very fortunate that ball didn't get scored and maybe even fouled. Now your EMU, 12 seconds to go. You do yourself a favor, if you can, knock down some free throws.
If you make 1, it's a 3-point game. You make both, it's a 2-possession game. You got Yusuf Jihad at the line. Eastern as a team has made 14 of 19 in this game, and he'll miss the 1-and-1. Jones with it. 7 seconds to go here for the Huskies. Lost control. The ball goes out of bounds. And it's going to stay with NIU.
No, I think it's going the other. They say, let's see, it's reviewable. They called it EMU ball, Ryan, I believe.
Eastern signaling their way.
Well, they're going to review this. It's
they
reviewable.
Have to.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I know. Yeah, they initially called it, I think, EMU's ball. We'll see it.
And as we wait for the replay, we got an official walking our way, so let's get word here. Okay, so they are confirming right now it is Eastern Michigan ball. That's the call on the floor. They're just double checking across the way.
And it looks like it was kicked right off his leg. That's NIU's off NIU. And again, for our viewers, the only way this gets reviewed or gets changed, Ryan, is if it's indisputably evidence against it. I don't see any evidence against this call being overturned. This should end up being EMU's ball.
Before that last play where Jalen Terry lost it, I was going to ask you at what point is it effective, because NIU had no more timeouts, and that's where I thought this might come into play. Eastern still has 3.
No, but how about Terry? I mean, Jalen Terry struggled today. I think he'll be the first to tell you. But he's still got his mind in the game. He's playing defense, and actually it was a slap down on the ball with no contact, it appeared, to free that ball loose. And then the ball, after it was freed, was kicked by NIU. So it looks like this call is going to be upheld, and it is.
Yep. So it will be Eastern ball with 2.7 seconds to go. So now they'll be forced to foul if they can.
Well, Todd Van Sessen and Kenneth Moreland, Tony Meeks, a couple of officials I had the pleasure of talking to before the game. They want to get it right too. This is a conference opener. You don't want to make a controversial call, but that was pretty easy. That one was easy. So now you're EMU. You're going to get trapped. You're going to get It's probably not even going to get trapped as much as they're going to try to get a 5-second run. You don't have time now. You get trapped and you get out of the trap, the game's over. You're going to try to get a 5 count, which means you're going to probably take all of your defenders and make Eastern Michigan come to the ball and denial. If you can get a 5 count, it then becomes NIU's ball. That's what you're doing. You see, nobody is going on the ball. So it's 5 guys guarding 4. Think about that. Somebody's going to have to take their man to the ball, break out, and catch it. But there's nobody. Well, now they're going to change and put a guy on the ball.
So Jalen Terry will inbound it. Fake to football style pass, looking for Henry. Now they throw it into Nelson. Nelson has it. He'll be fouled right away by James Dent Jr. with 1.9 on the clock.
Well, how about that? How ironic is that? The guards are covered, and who comes up to get the ball and puts his hands on it? Deshaun Nelson. I mean, what a game. You can't say enough about what he's meant to the Eagles today. I mean, he's been playing at a high level already, but now to step up in the conference opener and do what he's done, phenomenal.
So first free throw is good, and that will help solidify a potential win. You get the second one, it's all but over.
Well, and if he misses it, it's going to be tough because there's no timeouts. So now you got to go length of the floor. Sometimes you talk about missing it intentionally, but you make it, it's over either. So either way, he's good.
Nelson makes it. That's a 4-point game. 1 second left on the clock. They'll heave one up, and it will not matter. Eastern Michigan wins the conference opener against the Huskies of NIU. They come back from 7 points down, and they win it by 4.
Ryan, what a great opener for Eastern. It wasn't always pretty, but NIU had a lot